Tasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumritam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobisham Stapita Nena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Pranamaya Radhaki Savadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Gopala Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sadevam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Vaidyanatmaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakadvatam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpade Gopisha Gopikanta Radha Namaste Tapta Kanchana Dhorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vijayavara Susedevi Pranamani Vancha Kalpa Kalvyasha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Pavitanam Pavaneyo Vaishnaveyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, I understand that you have a 2-day celebration today and tomorrow. And the celebration is in honor of the installation of the deities of Gonatai. Today is their 8th birthday. Is it today or tomorrow? Of course, the Krishna conscious preaching started in Moscow long before the opening of the Bhagavad Temple. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had predicted that the holy name would spread to every town and village of the world. So when the Lord predicts, it has to come true. So as all of you know, Srila Prabhupada had a desire that Krishna consciousness be established in every corner of the world to fulfill the instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Ji and the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But it wasn't so easy to do it in the early days of the movement in what was formerly known as Soviet Union. We all know how Prabhupada struggled in India and took the movement to the Western countries. First, Prabhupada concentrated on getting the movement established in America. Then he set the mood to expand the movement in Europe. And then he concentrated on India. He wanted to establish real Krishna conscious teachings in India. At the same time, Prabhupada was thinking how to penetrate behind those countries which were at that time known as the Iron Curtain countries. You've probably forgotten the word now, Iron Curtain among them. So, it was in 1971 or 72 that Prabhupada received an invitation from Dr. Kshetra. And actually we had the opportunity to invite Dr. Kshetra a few times over here for Prasad a few years ago. So he would tell us about how he took the risk in inviting Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada was very daring. So he took full opportunity of the invitation to come and present the Krishna conscious viewpoint. For example, you all know where Prabhupada presented the spiritual definition of communism. The spiritual definition of communism is Isha Vashe Dham Sarvam Yat Kinta Jagatyantaha. One should take as much as he needs, knowing that everything belongs to the Supreme. Instead of everything belonging to the state, we say everything belongs to the Supreme. So, that was Prabhupada's first visit here in 1971. And during that visit, Prabhupada had got introduced to a fortunate Russian soul. That the way Prabhupada met that fortunate soul was also very interesting. Prabhupada was living in a hotel near Kremlin, and Prabhupada was just living off milk and fruits. he would never go down to the restaurant to eat. And all of you were not there. So Prabhupada had to live only off milk and fruits. No one was there to cook prasad and bring it to him. So Prabhupada's secretary, he was an American devotee, tall American, called Shyam Sundar. Shyam Sundar was in one of the streets near the hotel looking for a shop which sold milk. And he was looking for somebody who could help him with Russian translation, because he didn't speak any Russian. And on the way he asked many people, any shop where you can buy milk? Most people didn't understand what he was saying. They said, we don't understand what you're saying. But there was one Russian who knew English. He said, let's escort you to the milk store. And on the way they developed a little friendship. This individual was already in yoga. So then he got injected with Krishna consciousness, and he wasted no time in starting preaching to others. And then subsequently there were other steps taken. Prabhupada books finally reached many prominent libraries in Moscow and St. Petersburg. And gradually the movement started, first in having now had programs in people's homes. I remember that before the center opened here, and time flies, I remember coming to see this building when we had got here and nobody had moved in. It was in a real rundown condition. But with the efforts of the devotees, the temple was nicely built. And here we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the opening of the temple. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction that the holy name would travel to every town and village of the world will definitely, eventually, has come true and will continue to come true. On the devotional path, we had to have faith in the words of the Supreme Lord and the Acharyas like Prabhupada. So today we are also celebrating the 8th anniversary of the installation of the deities. And we have the deities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. So the Lord is so kind that He appears in His Archa Vigrah form. And this Archa Vigrah form of the Lord is not different from the Lord. And amongst all the incarnations, the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described as the most merciful of all incarnations. What has Narottama Thakur said? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are the most merciful of all incarnations who has appeared especially to save the fallen people of Kali Yuga. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears, or has appeared in your temple among the Lord Nityananda. Without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you can't get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the devotee has faith that these deities are not different from the Lord. We have read and heard of so many wonderful stories that describe how these deities are not just some idols made of brass or wood or stone, but actually God is personally present in these deities. So our understanding is that here is the Lord present in the Archa Vigrah form, giving us all an opportunity to serve Him. Some serve the Lord by doing deity worship, cooking for the Lord, dressing the Lord, sewing for the Lord, making garlands for the Lord, cooking for the Lord. Some serve the Lord by singing and dancing enthusiastically for the pleasure of the Lord. The Lord is very pleased when He hears the enthusiastic singing and dancing of His devotees. Even if you don't feel like devotees enthusiastically dance and sing for the pleasure of the Lord. In the story of Sakshi Gopal, you have heard how the deity of Gopal came to the rescue of the Brahman's honor. The Brahmana's whole reputation was at stake, and ultimately he had no alternative but to plead to the Lord to come to his rescue. The Lord said, how can I come so far to testify? I can't walk. But what do the Brahmins say? If we can talk, we can also walk. So the deity testified and saved the Brahman's order. In the story of Madhava Puri, we saw how the Lord had inspired him in a dream to install, to take out the deity that was hidden underneath the ground 500 years, about 700 years ago, in order to save the deities from the Mahanda and aggressors, many of the deities were taken out of the temple and hidden in secluded places or deep under the earth. So the Lord came in a dream and told Madhavendra Puri to dig the deity out and install it. And after the deity was installed, Madhavendra Puri engaged all the people of the village in serving the deities enthusiastically by giving them different devotional assignments. And then the Lord instructed him that I'm still feeling heat. Go and get me some sandalwood. And when he was going to get the sandalwood, he came to the temple of Gopinath in Orissa, where he had developed a desire to have the opportunity to taste the sweet rice that was being offered to the deity there. And he manifested that desire to taste while the offering was taking place. And what was the result? He was embarrassed and walked out because he manifested a desire to taste it while the offering was taking place. Of course, Madhavendra Puri's desire to taste it was strictly so that he could go back and prepare an even more delicious sweet rice for his deity. But he felt so embarrassed that he went out of the temple without even tasting it. But what did the Lord do? What did he do? Stole the sweet rice, hid it behind the curtains, and instructed the pujari of the temple that the sweet rice was hidden behind the curtain. So the Lord stole sweet rice for the pleasure of his devotee. Gopal Krishna Goswami had a Shalgam Śrīla, and somebody gave him some offerings, very nice offerings of saris and jewelry. And he began to wonder, what am I going to do with all this? If I had a deity, I could have made dresses. But a Śrīla, all it needs is chandan and tulsi. What am I going to do with all this? So what happened? The Śrīla manifested itself as a deity of Radharama. Radharama means one who always gives you happiness. So this deity is none different from the Lord. And based upon our endeavors of surrender, the deity will also reciprocate accordingly. On the devotional path, one should be careful to avoid offenses. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatana Goswami how after many births and deaths is he the fortunate soul who gets a seed of bhakti. And when you get a seed of bhakti, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises that we should water it. Water to the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam. And then, if you water it, then the seed will fructify. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warns that if on the devotional path we commit Vaishnava paths, then the effect will be like that of a mad elephant entering into a beautiful garden. Therefore it is said, Bhav Janma Kari Yadi Shravana Kirtana Tabutana Paya Kṛṣṇa Pade Kaimadhana. When they go on chanting their holy name to the Lord birth after birth, when one is committing the offenses, then he will not be able to develop love of God. Therefore, in the 10 offenses that we chant, the first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their life for propagating the holy name. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed everyone, isn't it, with love of God? But he had a little bit of anger at his mother Sachi Mata. Because Sachi Mata was thinking that Advaita Acharya, Sachi Mata had a little bit of anger at Advaita Acharya. Why? Her eldest son had already taken sannyas, Vishnu, and the younger son also took sannyas. So Sachi Mata was thinking that Advaita Acharya didn't influence my son. So she had a little bit of anger in her mind at Advaita Acharya, at which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not happy. Advaita Acharya, he had prayed along with Haridas Thakur for the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would say, how can Sachi Mata commit any offense? She is the mother of the universe. How can she make any offense? So even if Sachi Mata wanted to apologize, Advaita Acharya would never accept it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wasn't happy that his mother had taught him this way about Advaita Acharya. So once when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had showed his transcendental form, divine form to his close associate, the Advaita Acharya and others were bowing down. So Sachi Mata came from behind and touched Advaitacharya's lotus feet and took the dust from his feet. And when he took the dust from the feet of Advaitacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showing the example how he wanted even his own mother to be careful on this point. Bhagavatam, you read the story of Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. How Durvasa Muni was envious of the exalted position of Amrish Maharaj. And for no reason, he produced a demon from his seeker with a powerful mystic yogi to harm Amrish Maharaj. But Amrish Maharaj was undisturbed. He kept meditating in the lotus feet of the Lord. Sarve Mana Krishna Padana. And then the Sudarshan Chakra of the Lord was released that chased Durvasa Muni. Wherever he went, the Sudarshan Chakra was behind. Eventually, the Lord told him that my devotees are so dear. They reside in my heart, and I reside in the heart of the devotee. And then Durvasa Muni who begged forgiveness from his devotee. The Lord refused to pardon him, but his devotee pardoned him. So the devotees of the Lord are very dear to the Lord. Let me just push it over to you. The Lord maintains, He resides in their heart, and the devotee resides. And He resides in the heart of the devotee, and the devotee resides in his heart. So Vaishnava Prana is very dangerous on the spiritual path. Just like the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing Harinam Sankirtan in the house of Srivasacharya, some Brahmanas became envious of Srivasacharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would only allow very selected devotees to participate in these Kirtan sessions. So there was this one Brahman, he was envious that the Srivas is getting so much honor. So to defame him, he put all the paraphernalia for worshipping Goddess Durga in front of his door. So in the morning when Srivas Thakur saw this, he said, "Neighbors, see, I am a devotee of Durga." But nobody actually believed it. But later on, this Brahmin was afflicted with leprosy. He ran down something. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but before sannyas, he was known as Nimai. He was very compassionate, but he refused to pardon. So he went on suffering. And finally, after years of suffering, the Lord told him, "I can't pardon you. When my devotee pardons you, then that's what." And then he begged forgiveness from Srivas who forgave him. So, by being envious of a devotee, one destroys his own spiritual life. Haridas Thakur, who should chant 300,000 times the holy name, one person was envious. What was his name? Ramachandra Thakur. So he took the services of a prostitute to seduce him. And the prostitute, after the first night they showed him, "Oh, tomorrow he's going to be seduced." But on the third night, she was seduced by Haridas's purity. She revealed her plan, envious plan, and begged for forgiveness. However, this Ramchandra Khan had to face severe reactions later. His house was plundered by the Muslims. He was arrested and had to pay a huge penalty for having offended and exalted the devotee. So, Vaishnava Prajna should be avoided. Then there is the story of this the son-in-law of Sarvabhaumacharya called Amogha. Sarvabhaumacharya had only one daughter who was married to a devotee to an individual called Amogha. This Sarvabhaumacharya at one time was a staunch impersonalist. But by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got convinced about the personal nature of the Lord, and he also got convinced that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none else but the Supreme Lord incarnating as a devotee. So whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled to different cities, he was invited by different household devotees. So Sarvabhaumacharya and his wife had the privilege of serving prasad to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for a certain period of time. Out of love and affection, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhaumacharya's wife would cook very delicious offerings in a big variety. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take only very good. So one day, Amogha had the opportunity to see the various offerings that were offered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his mother-in-law and father. So he said, look at the sannyasi. He pretends to be a renunciate, but he's eating more upland than a householder. So Amoga was chased out of the house by Sarvabhaumacharya. He was so upset, Sarvabhaumacharya, that he had his wife. Then they said, may our daughter become a widow? Nothing have a son-in-law like him. Dying of serious disease called. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked his uncle, Gopāl, how's the mother? So he was informed that he was very sick on his deathbed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and placed his hand on his chest and said, as long as you have envy in the heart, the Lord will not decide you. And what did Amara do? He got up from his bed, fell at the feet of the Lord, and begged forgiveness, and became a great devotee. So, we should be very cautious on the devotional path and avoid committing aparadha. This is the advice of the Lord, this is the advice of the great Savior. On the devotional path, we proceed cautiously, then the devotional people will grow taller and taller and produce the fruit of love of God. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted his followers to develop the mood of humility and tolerance, each opinion. And he himself set the example. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked, why are you studying the Vedanta? You're such a prominent Sanskrit scholar. What did he say? My spiritual master thought that I was a fool, so he thought I should just chant. That's as far as I can go. At a young age, Nimai had become a very prominent scholar. So when the prominent Sanskrit scholar of that time, 𝐾𝐲 Kashmiri, came to meet Nimai, he had the opportunity to meet him on the banks of the Ganges. 𝐾𝐲 Kashmiri had defeated everyone in the competition. But, and he had heard that in Navadip, there was a young boy who was a very prominent scholar. So he came with his whole entourage, a band, like trumpets, just like when a king goes, there's a whole paraphernalia that goes to the king, glorifying him. And he met Nimai on the banks of the Ganges. So Nimai, out of respect, asked him to compose some verses. He said, I've heard so much about your glory as a Sanskrit scholar. Please compose some verses for me. And he instantly composed over 100 verses glorifying the Ganges. And then he asked Nimai, what do you think about these verses? Nimai told him they would grow good, but these were the defects in the following verses. So when he heard Nimai repeating the verses, he was surprised. He said, how I was chanting, reciting at the speed of the wind. How did he memorize these verses so fast? So, he had no answer to Nimai's queries. So Nimai's students started making fun of the guest. But Nimai stopped it. He wanted his students to be very respectful to this scholar. Of course, the next day, the scholar surrendered to the feet of the Lord because God has satisfactorily told him that this person you're debating is not an ordinary individual, but a street personality of God himself. Ramachandra Puri was always envious of the sannyasis, because he would beat them and then criticize. So he had this envious attitude, and then he even started criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he started advising his guru about Brahman meditation. So, we should be very cautious on the devotional path. Everyone sitting here is very fortunate in having come to Krishna consciousness. We are fortunate in that we have the real thing, the real Lord, and the real process of serving the Lord. About 2 weeks ago, I was in a Canadian city called Calgary, it's in Alberta. Have you heard of it? So anyway, I was visiting a devotee, and he showed me the front page of the newspaper, which had a big article about an Indian Swami. This Swami was doing some miracles, and his followers would come to him. He would give them rich presents, gold, silver, and so many different expensive items. And some of the people he blessed had become rich. So they were saying, this Swami is God. And then they quoted some professors of Indology from Alberta University who said, yeah, it's very common in Hindu mythology for people to do magic and become God. So there are so many people like him. who claim to be incarnations of God or divine representatives of God. And they gave something that's not genuine. So we are fortunate in that we got a genuine philosophy as presented by Srila Prabhupada. He gave us the Bhagavad Gita, 𝐾𝐤𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿. He gave us the pure process. And he gave us the pure process and set the example of purity. And he gave us elaborate purports or explanations. He gave us elaborate purports or explanations to the philosophy spoken by the Supreme Lord. Now what we should do is take advantage of this process. Take advantage of the process by following the process without any deviation. Prabhupada once wrote a very beautiful Vyasa offering in honor of his Guru, and he said, "The line of service is clearly drawn by you." So none of us have to speculate about the process of spiritual advance. Whether we're living in the temple or living at home, the process is clear for everyone. Krishna says, highest is think of me all the time. If you cannot think of me all the time, follow the regulative principle of Bhakti Yoga, and then you'll develop a desire to attain me. So what does the regulative principle of Bhakti Yoga mean? We chant the 16 rounds very attentively, and make sure that we chant it every day without fail. Not that you get in the habit of running debts. Sometimes we do, oh, I'm running a debt. I have a debt. So make it a point of time, finish around every day. Regularly read. Associate with devotees. Those of you who are outside should try and visit the temple at least once or twice. Engage in some practical service. And if you do these things, then automatically we will find spiritual satisfaction. In the mature world, it doesn't matter how much economic success you have, there's no real happiness. Just like these days, even in American industry, they're discovering that the stress level of people is very high. So, to relieve the stress, here are some of the things they have suggested. In these big offices, they now have gymnasiums. So the executives, after every 2 hours, they can go for 20 minutes to the gymnasium. So some of the companies are telling their employees, you can go jogging in the lunch break. So many of them go jogging in the lunch break and come back and have a shower. They have shower facility in the office and go back to work. Some of these companies, they have massagers coming and giving a massage in the office once a week for 2 hours. So they're trying various things to reduce the stress level of people. But what is the real solution? Transcendental meditation. That is by chanting the name of God. So this is the solution for this age. Hare Nam, eva keva. Hello, Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. We should take this process seriously and introduce the process to others. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did say, 𝐿IKE 𝐄𝐲 wherever you see, tell him about the Supreme Lord. And Krishna says, in the must devotee is one who preaches my glory. So, on the auspicious occasion of the 10th anniversary of the opening of the Vegavaya temple, and on the auspicious occasion of the 8th anniversary of the installation of the deities, each of you should become more determined to become Krishna conscious and to make others Krishna conscious. Just follow the process as given, don't speculate, and by following the process, you get the determination to follow it more enthusiastically. Just like by bhajana kriya, the anartha nivritti takes place. And then you develop nishtha, determination. So all this is a result of attentive bhajana kriya. Take advantage of this and perfect your life.
И сделать свою жизнь совершенной.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare